Good morning, everyone. My name is Janay Ferguson. I'm a member of the Staff Parish Relations Committee, and I'm really grateful to be with you this morning. And I'm not sure how much of a gift you're going to get, but I'm going to do my best. And I also will acknowledge up front that, you no doubt think that I'm a very emotional person. I'm actually not, but I am here for a variety of different reasons. So if you talk to me at all, you know that I come from a very strongly evangelical background and grew up in a very particular kind of worship. And it was very hierarchical, the Bible is the literal, absolute, inerrant word, very strong roles for everybody. And for a variety of reasons, I began to come in conflict with those messages as I was getting older. And the reasons don't really matter as much as the fact that I believed absolutely all of the things that I was taught when I was young. And when I got into my early teens, I rejected absolutely all of those things in their entirety. And I burned my life to the ground. And when I say that, I don't mean that I did it in some obvious way. Didn't go to jail. I had plenty of material things. I was quite successful in my chosen profession, probably more than I might have been otherwise because I didn't have very much in the way of ethical or moral breaks on my behavior. And I found myself about 18 years ago with an intractable, unsolvable by me problem. And I was completely hollowed out and desperate enough to again consider looking for a spiritual solution to my problem. But at first I was absolutely adamant that whatever that solution was, it could not be a solution that was in any way connected with Christianity, because I was absolutely convinced that I knew that chapter and verse, and I knew who that guy was, and I didn't want that guy anywhere near my life. So I tried a variety of other things, but they didn't quite fit, possibly because since I had grown up in a certain faith tradition, that was what kind of made sense to me and that's what spoke to me, or possibly, I believe now, because God never let me go, even though I left God. And it's been my experience that God has always been faithful to me, regardless of my connection or faithfulness to him. And so, when I began looking at all, God came back to me. And I started going to, eventually, so this path was a lengthy one. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, I promise. But I began searching for churches. And I could find progressive churches that I liked and who were very welcoming of me, but who didn't seem to have the same interest in following Christ that I had grown up with or that I was interested in. And I could find lots of churches who were very clearly focused on what I had grown up with and what I understood, and they were not at all welcoming of me. And I felt like maybe I was just never going to succeed. And finally, a bit more than 3 years ago, it was actually 4 years when I first snuck in the back and headed out before even Pastor Sarah could catch me, I came to Tibbetts. And what I found here was a breadth and depth and weight of service and commitment and community. And what I mean by that is there were folks of all kinds of backgrounds. Maybe they had some of the same things that I did. Maybe they had completely different things. Maybe they had been faithful their entire lives. Maybe they didn't have any experience with this at all. And they were here trying together to find something that mattered. And I also found a breadth of types of people and folks who were older than me and people who were younger than me, and all trying to do the same thing. And I found this incredible commitment that shows up in our worship team, who is here week after week in a dedicated way trying to lead us all, and our choir, and our great folks in AV, and our pastor, and the folks who keep this sanctuary going. And somehow, in all of that, you reminded me that God calls me beloved. even if I forget. And so I am very grateful to be a part of this community. And see, I've done it again. I don't look tough at all when I talk about this. It's really irritating to me. But I'm incredibly grateful to be with you, and I'm incredibly thankful for Tibbetts. And that's why I call Tibbetts my home. Thank you.